Hello and welcome to the Caffeine Chronicle. I'm your host, Isaac Linsk. We're here today to discover South Jersey's best and brightest. Today, joined by renowned culinarian and baker, Sarah Clothier. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
Sarah, let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
As a food professional, when did you first realize that food would be a formative part of your professional life?
That's such a good question for professional life. Well, the first time I became aware of food was definitely in my grandma's kitchen. I think she grew up in the Depression and was very good at just like pulling anything and making something out of it, because I think you're forced to when you live in that kind of setting. That was the first time I looked at food as something other than just something you need, something you need to survive, and something that could be creative and was necessary, and how it really was different for everybody, and their resources and what they were able to get was not the same for everybody. Not everyone has the same food privilege, not everyone. So then it became something that was more of a necessity and a scarcity for a lot of people, and I was like, this is something I could really make the world a better place using. It wasn't just something that we become so accustomed to, like fast food and drive-ins and like just all this easy access, like not great food, and it just seems like something we just have to do and not something we take a lot of time to think about.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that was the first time, just watching her like make something out of nothing and really use what she had, that I was like, oh wow, like you can be creative with this and you can make a lot out of not a lot. And I don't know.
You spent some time on a goat farm in Hawaii making dairy products. Is this correct?
I did.
Would you like to talk about that experience a little bit?
Yeah, it was, I was working at a dive bar in New Jersey, and it was very late nights, and I was working from 5 p.m. to like 3 in the morning. Oof. You know, fried foods. It was all wings and cheesesteaks and all that stuff. And the lifestyle that so many people in our field fall into is late nights, sleeping all day, you know, only thing open when you're done work is bars. So it can be a very toxic, you know, cyclical cycle that you get stuck in, and people can be very cynical and can be very exhausting. And I'd gotten so fed up with it that I just looked up anything else I could use this degree for, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to fly across the world and go. I just emailed this farm and I was like, do you guys take interns and apprentices or something? I would love to learn about this process. And within 2 weeks I was on a plane and flew across the world to go live in a shed behind a goat barn. And it was amazing. I learned the entire, really the process. I got to see it, I got to witness it every day, milking goats twice a day, you know, pasteurizing that milk, making it, watching it become cheese. It was really fascinating, honestly.
No, 100%. Did working in such a remote location change your broad perspective about food systems after coming back to one of the most accessible places on earth? I mean, you know, we're from South Jersey. Roads outnumber the people here, so you know you can access anything within a 10-mile radius.
Yep. And I lived in Upper Kula, Maui, which is, I mean, Maui is an island, obviously, but considering where I was about a 35-minute drive from the beach. So, like, I was pretty far from where most people go when they even go to Maui. And it was a more, like, deserty kind of, like, farmy area. So I was even more isolated than a lot of people that go to Maui are in general. So it was very interesting because, you don't have that, oh, I'm going to go to Wawa, there's 10 in any given direction, or oh, I'm going to go to ShopRite. Like, there's really nothing like that. So it just makes you, one, when you buy stuff, you like really think about like, how can I utilize this in the long run? Because I also didn't have a car. So I wasn't really going to the grocery store a lot, and when I did, I had to be mindful of that. I definitely ate a lot of cheese because it was
on the farm.
accessible to me. They didn't do a lot of other farm products. They were pretty much just cheese. So like it was more, I had to get what I could when I went to the grocery store, or a lot of times in Hawaii they have a lot of fruit stands on the side of the road, and you get stuff like that, or you can just get stuff off trees because they're just there.
Are there any like rare tropical fruits you got to try there that you can't exactly get back here at home?
No, not Not really. Honestly, everything was pretty. I didn't really have
anything super rare.
Yeah, and like a lot of that stuff would be like in Homicide and like in that more remote area. But
yeah.
I mean, most people, if they are growing those things, they're selling them. So.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Yeah. When have you felt most proud in a professional sense, and why?
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
I think I probably. This is a hard question.
That's why I'm here.
I think it was at the Goat Farm when the girl who had trained me was leaving, and she was like, "You're basically going to be the dairy supervisor."
Oh, very
at
cool.
this point, like they're going to bring in someone else, but at this point, it's really up to you
yeah.
to run the show.
How long were you there again?
I was only there for 4 months.
Oh wow, okay.
And she left pretty much right when I got there, so she pretty much trained me for 2 weeks and like sort of like was like, "I'm
good
moving."
luck.
Yeah, good luck. And it really scared the crap out of me, and I was like, "Oh my god, how am I?" Like the pasteurization system we used was flown in from Germany. Okay. So like the wording, the instructions, the people who owned the farm were from Germany. So it was very scary. And I was like, holy crap, I have to do this all on my own.
Yeah.
And the thing you learn most when you're working on a farm is that it doesn't stop. It never ends.
Yeah.
The goats can't go a day without being milked. They need to be milked in the morning and in the night. So if you can wake up, and then that milk needs to go right through and be pasteurized, and the process, and there's goats being born every day, and there's and they need to be bottle fed, and all this stuff is constantly happening. It's never ending. And I think once she left and I had my first full day by myself, and I took a deep breath and was like, it's a system, you just have to follow it, and I completed it for a day. It was amazing. And that next day 2 baby goats were born, and we got to birth goats, and it was like really to see that full cycle and to be a part of it. Like, these goats that I just birthed are going to produce cheese that I make in
X amount of months.
And so to be able to see that full process is amazing, and to feel the pride of like I had to take a nap in the middle of my day before I came back to work, and to be on your feet is such a healthy, amazing process.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love that combination of farming and being in a kitchen, because you're physically active, you're mentally active, you're outside, but you're also like putting it together with a product that you get to make and you get to eat, and it's delicious.
Exactly.
So it all goes together.
Did you get to name any of the baby goats?
I didn't. I did not do any of the
unfortunate.
naming. I know. All the girls always had their list of names that they picked out, and I was like, you guys can have this. You guys can take the fun part.
Being from Cherry Hill and now working primarily around Philadelphia, you very much live in the crux of South Jersey and Northeastern culture. What do you think the most under and overrated parts of South Jersey culture are?
Overrated? I would think like pork roll, egg, and cheese. Overrated.
Okay.
Delicious, necessary, overrated though.
Yeah, it doesn't deserve the hype.
No, it's too. It just does. It's just no, and they're not all created equal.
No.
So I definitely think that's an overrated thing that I'm tired of hearing about.
Yeah.
Or maybe bagels.
Yeah, bagels. They've had their moment.
They had the moment. You're either good or bad. I think we all know what a good bagel is and what a bad bagel is. Yeah. Underrated, I think. Food. So I just recently came back from Colorado and Utah, and I have to say, I think just food in general here is underrated, because I don't think people think about how much quality food is linked to diversity.
Yeah.
And I'm out in Colorado and Utah, and I could not find a good restaurant to save my life. I was like, everything I eat is so expensive and it's so bad, and I think people really underestimate how, like, I know any given restaurant I go to is probably going to be pretty decent food around here, because there's just so many people, and there's so much diversity, and there's so much, like, all density, and, like, you're not going to survive if you're not pretty good. But out there, people are pretty much like, what we get is what we can get. So, like, we're going to suck it up and like it. And it was, like, I was amazing to me how, like, bad the food was.
No, I get it.
Like,
I understand.
I was like, wow, I at least underestimated how much that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just at my local whatever store, and it's so much better than anything I had.
Yeah, exactly. Even like a corner store or a deli, it's like leagues above.
It's insane. And just bread. bread is so underrated.
Yeah.
How good bread is on this side of our little piece of the world is so much better than any bread I've had anywhere else. Like, it's just, people say it's our water, but I don't know.
Something in the water. There's definitely something in the water. No, it's okay. Alright, I'm gonna ask you to close your eyes for this last part. You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll let you know when to open.
Okay.
Alright, you may open. So now, as objectively and critically as you can, I need you to review this bread that I made.
Okay. Okay, butter.
A little bit, we're a little low stock today. Walnut whole wheat sandwich bread. Shout out King Arthur flour.
Shout out King Arthur. We love King Arthur. Did you know you can go to school at King Arthur?
Yeah, I almost drove to their place because it's in Montpelier.
Yeah.
But, well, I wanted like a tour or something, but they never got back to me.
It's really soft. Wait, what's the process?
Well, for this recipe in particular, I didn't have white whole wheat flour that was necessary. I had red whole wheat, which I think has a slightly higher gluten protein percentage, so I had to cut it a little bit with a cover 2 all-purpose flour. Sifted those together with the instant yeast, added the walnuts, all that, drizzled it in liquids. But one thing that I learned from my 2 years making pizza is whenever you're making like a yeast or sourdough like that, don't add the salt in the rest of the ingredients. Wait for the yeast to bloom, and prior to kneading, when the dough rises, then add your salt, because then you'll get more spurs throughout the bread, giving it a better flavor.
Well, I think it's really good.
If you could rate it out of 10, what would you rate it?
I would probably rate it a 7.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Any critiques, any comments?
Well, I'm a crusty bread person.
Okay, yeah.
So I like a really hard crust, and I really like a sour bread. But that's a personal judgment, not an actual. As a sandwich bread, though, great. You're getting it's lovely in terms of texture, buoyancy.
Yeah, the sugar actually used in this was maple syrup from the farm I was staying on in Vermont.
That's really cool. I like the nuts in it.
Thank you.
I feel like it would be really good with like ham and like a good mustard and like a
Maybe like some Swiss or something?
yeah, Swiss. Ooh. Yeah, I like it.
All right, perfect. Sarah, this has been the Caffeine Chronicle. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I'm
course.
honored.